I'm Bruce Bassett. I'm a deacon here at Third Reformed Church and a member of the Justice and Equity team. In these challenging times, it can be hard to find common ground. Even with people you love, in your own family, it can be truly hard to hear other people and to feel heard in return. Over the past year or so, Third Church has sponsored 2 cohorts of Intergroup Dialogue to give people the chance to acquire and practice important skills. We've had a total of 44 participants practicing dialogue with each other on matters of real importance. While the hot topics addressed concern LGBTQ+ issues, which affect many of us, our children, or our grandchildren, the skills presented in Intergroup Dialogue are applicable to other touchy or uncomfortable topics as well. Maybe this Thanksgiving can be a little less confrontational. To explain what Intergroup Dialogue is, I'd like to introduce our facilitator, Alyssa Lappinga. Hi, Alyssa.
Hi, Bruce. Great to see you.
So tell us, what's the goal of Intergroup Dialogue? Is it to get everyone to agree?
I'm so glad you asked that. Bruce, Intergroup Dialogue is a practice that was developed at the University of Michigan, and it was originally formulated as a way for folks from different social identities to come together and learn about how their different experiences have informed the way that they see the world, the way they experience society, and to figure out how they can kind of bridge that gap in understanding that often exists between people from different experiences. Here at Third and in other community groups in Holland, we have adapted that practice for people not only from different social identities, but also from different ideologies or just perspectives on different social issues. And we use that practice to come together and not to find agreement necessarily, but to reach an understanding. So it's a process that allows us to explore with one another, where do our perspectives come from? How do we have good, deep, rich, authentic conversation about them and come away with a better understanding of one another so that we don't end up in quite as much conflict?
Okay, so what's the process for doing this? How does it work?
Yeah, so Intergroup Dialogue takes place across a number of stages. The first stage being we want to come together and do what we call setting the environment, creating a space where we can have good dialogue together and learning the important foundational skills. So we go through a series of workshops around listening, around asking good questions, things that we probably, most of us feel like, well, I can talk to people. Why is that something I need to learn? But how often do we really get to practice those in a safe, facilitated space where we learn to go a little bit deeper than maybe is typical, past that kind of just surface level discussion that many of us spend our days having, which there's nothing wrong with that. But how do we go deeper? How do we have that true dialogue about harder topics using those skills?
So this sounds like a lot of sharing. Do I have to share if I don't really want to?
Well, I'm hoping, Bruce, that we're going to create an environment that is going to allow you to share things that you might not normally want to share or might be uncomfortable doing. We certainly will never put anyone on the spot or force them to speak, but if we're doing it right, people are probably going to be motivated to share things that typically they might have wondered if it was okay to talk about.
So we've had 2 cohorts of this, 2 groups of people going through it, and here there's going to be a third. When is that going to be?
We are going to have our next cohort meet on the Saturdays in October. So Saturday mornings, the first day being a little bit of a longer session where we're going to do all those skills workshops we talked about to lay that strong foundation and to set our environment together. And then we're going to move into exploring over the next few Saturdays, exploring our own social identities, our perspectives, thinking about where did our ideologies come from, where have we, what messages have we received, and how does that impact the way that we see the world and the way that we enter into relationships and talk about some of these harder issues. So we'll look at that, and then we'll move into really tackling some of those hot topics, and learning how to do that in a way, we like to say in a way that still looks like Jesus, but also that allows us to fully be known and to fully know the others in the room with us.
So what if I can't make all the sessions?
We strongly encourage everyone to make sure that they can attend all of the sessions. If someone gets sick, we understand, but if you have something that you know is planned and blocking your attendance from one of the sessions, probably not the best time to sign up. The reason for that is if we miss a book club meeting or a study group, then we miss out on a little bit, but we can kind of pick up and figure out what we missed when we come the next time. But with dialogue, there's so much rich conversation, and we go so deep and get kind of personal that if you miss a session, one, we've missed out on your experience and your perspective, and therefore the group is less. But secondly, it's really hard to make up that common understanding that we're building together. It's hard to come and catch up on that. So we really do encourage folks to commit for the entire 4 sessions if they can.
Gotcha. And that first one is going to be that skills building session where we're doing 3. Yeah, so can't miss that one for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So in our last 2 cohorts, of those who participated, 82% said they felt better prepared to dialogue with people who see things differently than they do, with the remainder unsure. And 92% said they were motivated to try dialogue rather than debate. 95% would recommend this series to others. So this is what we're up to. I hope that you can join us, especially if you're on consistory. Please sign up with the church office. Thanks for listening.